Hello and salam Malaysia Madani. Welcome to On the Table. We are broadcasting on RTM Click and MyTV's Berita RTM channel 123, which is also live streaming on YouTube. I'm your host, Brenda Lepol. Welcome to the program once again. Now, as Malaysia accelerates its journey toward becoming a digitally driven high-income nation under initiatives such as My Digital and the Malaysia Digital Economy Blueprint, the need to upskill and future-proof the workforce has never been more urgent. Now, this ambition is echoed across the ASEAN region, where digital transformation is seen as a key driver of inclusive growth, innovation, and regional competitiveness. In this landscape, tech enablers like KISSflow are playing a pivotal role in offering powerful yet user-friendly no-code and low-code platforms. It empowers organizations, big and small, to automate processes, build custom applications, and embrace digital workflows without needing extensive technical expertise. So today, we are honored to have a representative from KISSflow. Joining us via Skype, Mr. Rakesh Nandakumar, Associate Vice President, Southeast Asia, to talk on the topic of upskilling for Malaysia's digital transformation. Welcome to the program, Mr. Rakesh.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Rakesh, of course, let's get on down to some of the questions that we have for you right now. What are the challenges and also barriers faced by the Malaysian organization in digital transformation? We know the landscape is huge right here, but what do you think are the challenges and barriers faced?
I think the need for digital is kind of moving from could be to a must. We're in the roads where every organization is completely digitalized, and the gap of digitalization is pretty the organization, especially in the Asian market. Hence, it's becoming a norm saying that if I don't digitalize, I will the whole. Right? So the need for organizations embark on this journey is pretty big.
All right. So, Mr. Rakesh, now, why won't simply hiring more developers solve these challenges? Because we're talking about a workforce right here, and it's not as easy as just simply hiring the correct person for to basically overcome these challenges. Now, this wouldn't be the case, would it?
Let's look at this as an example. You go back about 50, 60 years, if you want to take a photograph of yourself, you got to book an appointment to go there and take a photo. Now, if you are, there are not enough to take photo of everybody. Everybody is taking a selfie, very essential. The need for photographing is there, but the reason where you take photographs is tremendously. Similarly, technology is there, but every team they want to start thinking digital first, right? Globally, there are about 2.2 billion applications built for 20. There are simply no developers available in the market. So the only way to do this is how can I make the organization significant amount to solve the problem on their own. There is simply no way of saying I will simply solve this problem. It's possible to do that.
Would you say that we need some time now to still solve this problem, to identify the correct strategy and implementation to move forward, Mr. Rakesh?
Because if you're going to hire a developer, let's say this, as I said, right, if you're going to take, you can't simply have enough photographers, the amount of selfies which, right? The digital talent, if you go 4 years back, it was not that much, and taken work significantly, which means all the paper of technologies, all of this is getting as such. So the digital transformation goal is a decade, and one side, second side, there is a lot of time. And now, if you compound this, you eventually have to say that my business their own complement the whole digital. Yeah, such. Where,
Okay, and thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh, for your explanation. So, coming to this particular question, it's going to be an interesting one. Now, from your perspective at KissFlow, what are the most in-demand digital skills Malaysian companies are currently looking for? If you perhaps have a conversation with the younger generation, most of them are already started doing digital things. For an example, like coding, and this has evolved into an activity, probably even in school these days, or probably even as their own personal initiative, taking on these challenges themselves, being at the young age, which is usually we as grown adults would do it in our tertiary education, but they have perhaps already started, doing things with regards to IT, coding, and so on and so forth. Perhaps, let's talk about the in-demand digital skills Malaysian companies are looking for. Maybe you can even share with us some numbers or figures on that.
I think the technology, in a sense that technology enlightenment in every generation that is different, right? And if you take the current generation into the workforce, when they have grown with class application, right? Like every of them coding and of clear skill, but they are going to complain a set of systems, but a set of school as right? They want things to be done in a okay? And they have technology and technology understand, appreciate and use these tools, right? And that's where that is where more of citizen development coming into code as well today, right? Where I don't need to be fully fledged developer or a coding, but if I understand the concept of coding, and I try to help me out with platforms which help me to model whole idea of translate this into digital movements as such. Right? Thinking digital must become a norm for this generation as such. And that's going to aid the whole journey of self-sort of company.
All right, Mr. Rakesh, now you at KissFlow, now the team and of course yourself offers powerful and user-friendly no-code and low-code platforms. Now, we just mentioned this earlier in the show, talking about no-code and low-code platforms. Can you actually tell us what is no-code and low-code platforms? How is these platforms, how are they going to help non-technical employees contributing to the digital transformation that we have today?
Sure. So, if you take any organization, there are thousands and thousands of applications not addressed from the right? They don't fall the systems ERPs, your financial system, then your CMs and CRM, right? Generally, this is called full competitions where organization tends to people Excel and paper as such. And this middle office operation often are under developed because they don't have enough time. Now, what no platforms offer is a quick and an easy way to build and deploy these solutions. Typically, if you look at it, they have a choice of thing. Let's say if they do, takes them a month or 2 months to develop an MVP. If you use a logo, it should be cut to 10 to 12 days, right? That's the kind of a scale low code could give. What no code offers is this to build and deploy which they could have never, or they could have been doing patchwork of forms and Excels. Other than that, they can build and deploy complete, right? That is what no code offer. Often, if you go to this, the challenge they would say is that they have small workflow, a payment request, or examples like this, right? Which doesn't fall under, because IT also have limited bandwidth, and for them adopting that no-code platform like this allows them to build it themselves itself without breaching compliances and the framework that an organization standard.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh, for your explanation. And we are talking to Mr. Rakesh. If you're just tuning in to On the Table right now, we're going to be taking a quick break. And when we come back, more of Mr. Rakesh's explanation and his point of views on the biggest challenges Malaysian companies face in upskilling their workforce. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
In 2025, Malaysia proudly leads the ASEAN community into a new era of unity, growth, and opportunity. Together with 10 Southeast Asian nations, Malaysia is driving progress in trade, innovation, sustainability, and tourism. Explore the best of Malaysia, from its stunning landscapes to its rich cultural heritage. Be part of global events, business summits, and exciting festivals throughout the year. Join us in 2025. Discover new connections, celebrate unity, and experience the future of Southeast Asia. ASEAN Malaysia 2025. Together, we rise.
Thank you for staying with us. We are speaking to Mr. Rakesh Nandakumar, Associate Vice President, Southeast Asia of KISFLOW, on the topic of upskilling for Malaysia's digital transformation. Now, Mr. Rakesh, what are the biggest challenges Malaysian companies face in upskilling their workforce for digital readiness, and how can tech providers help overcome them?
Right. I think there are two critical aspects providers start about. One is that these citizen developers would have any digital projects in their life. So how do you embrace technology from their aspect? Do you comfort them? How do you make this sort of a challenge? Right. This is your first question. The second is to ask themselves, the one who's facilitating is also going to do a large-scale change management challenge. And often people think it is a challenge. Well, it is not. Right? It is a cultural change. Right? Citizen development as a notion is when folks live up their fear and say that, hey, I can do this by day itself. I can do it with all which I want, with all what I got, and I deliver a solution. They have to change the thought process. I'm going to I did it. I can do it, and I have challenges. So your technology provider should understand both these aspects and then come back with a governance framework, contain and convert this motion into a flow as a right. And that is where the sort of can happen in any organization.
Now, talking about upskilling, Mr. Rakesh, in your opinion, what are the best practices for upskilling non-IT employees and fostering a culture of creativity and also innovation? Now, this
it's a good question. If you think about it, right? Some of the folks who have been developing solutions in KISFLOW are not coming from IT as such. Right? I see procurement folks doing things, HR folks doing things, I see operational folks doing things. One of the common trends which we see in all of these folks who are able to take up technology in KISFLOW is what they have the willingness to learn, right? little bit and experiment and ready to fail and come out. And two, the organization has to back up in this journey because this is not coming directly from their work as such. And it's a project which had the whole organization out. And three, they have to have a product case flow where learning curve is much simpler and the construct of building is not complex, right? I can confidently say you build in a business scope who have enough motivation to solve their problem, and you give a product like and say, hey, you want to automate this particular problem. Try it in the product, and they should be able to build out MVPs in a year. Right? So all of this has to come at the right time and for it to click.
Yeah.
Right?
So the right time is very important. Now, Mr. Rakesh, which means to say that you don't agree when there's a term or probably a statement that says if you're not from the IT background, you're actually losing it moving forward. You don't agree to this statement?
Why should we say IT will always be the one who to build everything, right? I think the world is moving to more of inclusive development where IT will focus on certain set of challenges which are very specialized, and at the same time, business will also complement the efforts of digitalization, right? If you want to be a fully digitized organization, which will become the goal of many enterprises by 2025, 2030 as such, for them to achieve it, it is not possible without business embracing this change. If IT has to do all of the things in their organization, it is simply impossible to do these goals.
Okay, Mr. Rakesh, thank you. What about Malaysia? How does Malaysia compare with other ASEAN countries, in terms of digital talent readiness? And let's also talk about upskilling initiatives right here.
To be honest, I feel Malaysia is quite motivated to solve. We have those who have done really, really well in the space of adopting new technologies as the willingness to experiment is also coming up on scale. There are people who are saying, I want to solve this problem. There is a general climate of saying that it's time that we step up because the competition elsewhere is becoming hotter. That's the feedback I'm getting from. So hopefully this transformation exponentially increases in the next coming years as such.
Now, Mr. Rakesh, this requires probably more of your input and also point of views. Now, this question, do you see potential for regional collaboration in ASEAN? We're talking about developing shared digital upskilling frameworks or probably even programs involving private sector players. Now, the reason being is because this approach has to be done in a holistic manner. Nobody should be left behind. If some parties or some players out there are going to be left behind, then it's difficult for a certain country to move forward in terms of digitalization, so on and so forth. The context here is very broad. We're talking about the workforce. We're talking about even a country adapting this awesome challenges to move forward in that sense. So, in your opinion, let's talk about developing shared digital upskilling frameworks or programs, also involving the private sectors.
Definitely, I think there is always that we can learn from others as well, especially in terms of the government bodies are very different. The mental makes up us. It also there are different dimensions of this. There are things which very well in Philippines, in Malaysia, things which could have been done very well in Belarus, in this country. Things which are very good in Malaysia, which is, I think the whole setup of CAT also really help. To be honest, it's happening at an organization level. There are multiple branches of the Asian countries. They tend to have these yearly runs where they say, yeah, my team has done that. It's good if we can several folds up as well.
Right. Now, Mr. Rakesh, before we go, let's come back to the question about, upskilling Malaysian workforce with regards to digital culture. In terms of probably adapting some of the strategy that is set out there from the government to the people here, let's talk about comparing ourselves to other countries out there, which are probably, maybe, perhaps, they're probably more digitally enhanced than us players right here in Malaysia. Are we losing out in that term, or is there still room for us when it comes to improvements? There's always room for improvements, but are we left behind in that sense? Can we even say that?
To be honest, if you look at this whole perspective as such, there are waves of technology which will hit in every era as such, right? If you look at the West, the digitalization wave, when it hit, it built a lot of systems of the groundwork as such, the middle operation system. The whole Asian economy did not build that because we had people who can solve these problems, right? We kind of missed that wave in the Asian market as a whole, right? Of course, we have peripheral systems hasn't completely developed yet. In hindsight, we are going to enter an era of AI where everything is going to be digital. So I would say if we have enough time to make it count so that you have the latest getting into these technologies at least. So there is few things in the past. This is the right time to invest in organization in terms of your organization's age, how data can be quickly moved from one scale to another, how your employees can become the problem solver rather than getting. If this sort of a notion is adopted as a whole, I think we're going to miss that much in the next 5 years. Adapting to the latest changes will happen, right? Otherwise, it will be a missed opportunity.
Mr. Rakesh, we're talking about digital transformation and we have not touched base on artificial intelligence just as yet. A very quick one. How do you see AI being part of this? Just a quick one.
AI is a definite game changer.
Right.
Today in Kislo, we have enormous amount of AI where business users can come and just build this prompt. They can say, hey, build trading system. Kislo will build them a trading system. If I'm building a purchase order and Kislo says, hey, what are the things I should use, the AI should be able to populate and do that. Which means that the general gap in terms of knowledge and everything is getting sorted within this platform. Just outside Kislo as well, the AI is making huge changes as well. I would urge everybody to try and brush up on what AI could do for their roles and their challenges.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh, for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, talking about upskilling the Malaysia digital economy and, of course, its workforce. That's all the time that we've got for On the Table this evening. So we've been speaking to Mr. Rakesh Nandakumar, Associate Vice President, Southeast Asia of KISFLOW, on the topic Upskilling for Malaysia's Digital Transformation. Thank you so much, Mr. Rakesh, for being on the show once again.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
Now, a repeat of this episode's broadcast can be viewed again at the same time tomorrow and subsequent days on both RTM Click and MyTV's Berita RTM channel, as well as Berita RTM YouTube channel. Till next Thursday, where we'll discuss another topic of interest. I'm Brendan Lepal. Thanks for watching. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.